Welcome back. Denny Edwards and Scott Dupree are back with us to discuss the state of tourism in Raleigh. All right, I always have family coming to visit. You know, not a lot of us go up north to visit, but they like to come down south to Raleigh. What are some of the hidden gems? If we could talk a little bit about that. You've got to have some tips, some secrets. Share with us.
Yeah, well, you know, I think things that we kind of take for granted are things like our culinary scene here. I mean, we have restaurants that are opening up, fortunately, again, almost on a weekly basis. And so I think we're very blessed to have some really great independent restaurants. Our brewery and craft beer scene is continuing to increase. I think, you know, things like the Morgan Street Food Hall and the Transfer Company, great way if you have people coming in from out of town. It's a great way to really let them kind of showcase the food scene and the beer scene at the same time. So it's, those are some great opportunities. But, you know, I think there's been a lot of press, and our city's done a great job with the transformation of Dorothea Dix Park. But I would venture to say we have a lot of residents that have never been there. And there is, they have done the Conservancy there in the city of Raleigh have done just a tremendous job on transforming Dorothea Dix to make it just a great place to visit. There is activation there almost every weekend now, so I would really encourage people to go out and visit Dorothea Dix Park. And we're going to very shortly, you know, downtown Cary is going to have a park that is going to be world class. That shortly is going to be something that all Wake County residents are going to want to go appreciate and explore.
Can I jump in on hidden gems?
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing that I always like to visit, and I would encourage your family or any of the viewers watching, we have 12 municipalities here in Wake County, and we have some amazing downtowns in the smaller communities that have really grown and blossomed and developed in recent years. And I mean, they're across the board here, but when you think of downtown Cary now, which has transformed in the last 5 years, downtown Apex is a jewel, downtown Fuquay, Wake Forest, and more. I think a lot of your viewers may not be in the habit of, hey, let's take a day trip and go down to Fuquay for the day, or let's go see downtown Wake Forest. And those are, I would truly classify as hidden gems that are really worth a visit and just sort of iconic Americana in some instances. And I think all the downtowns are improving and growing and are great destinations, and some of them are really special.
Something I just really found out about, and that is esports. You know, do I need to train and get my thumbs going here? No, Scott, tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Esports, honestly, well, nationwide, worldwide, is probably it is the fastest growing sports sector in the world. I mean, it has exploded in the last 10 years. And of course, we always try to remain on the cutting edge of everything we do, so we're all in on esports. Now, esports is basically gaming. So I'm not claiming to be an expert on it. I will never claim to be an expert on it, but I'm doing my best to keep up with it. But esports is gaming, and our Greater Raleigh Sports Alliance, Visit Raleigh, have worked hard to create a Greater Raleigh Esports Local Organizing Committee led by Lauren Gold and Ed Tomasi, who we've brought on to give us wisdom and advice on this. And they have done a fantastic job of positioning Raleigh and Greater Raleigh as an international esports destination, and it's already paying off in a big way. And there's tons of potential here, and that's why we've made it a priority over the last, I'd say, 2 or 3 years. And certainly as we look ahead to the next 10 years, esports is at the top of our list in terms of importance.
And I think what sets us apart from all the other destinations around the globe, honestly, is the ecosystem that we have here. If you think of all the game developers we have, obviously led by Epic Games, but we have over 100 game developers right here in the Triangle that are in the gaming production in one form or another. Lenovo, Red Hat, SAS, they're all getting into that space as well. And then you top that with all the universities that are very heavily engaged with esports. There is what a lot of these event organizers are discovering is that the Triangle's a pretty special place, and you've got an audience, you've got the game developers all right here in the Triangle, and then on top of that, some great venues with PNC Arena and the Raleigh Convention Center, and even Reynolds Coliseum are some first-class facilities that can easily handle all the back of the house needs that it takes to produce a major event like that.
And let me just add that our next big esports event, and we've had a few now, and we'll have many more, is the XP League North American Finals at the Raleigh Convention Center in early August. And Bill, I will promise you we will get you free registration if you would like to participate. So you just let me know when you're in.
All right. I'm in training now. Watch out. I do want to get back to, we touched on a little bit in the first segment, and that is the challenges that you guys had with 2020, of course. And then what does the near future look like for the Raleigh area?
Yeah. Well, obviously tourism was by far the hardest hit sector nationally, globally, and we were the hardest hit, the first to be hit, and but we are starting to rebound. It was almost the minute the vaccines hit the market, people felt more confident to travel. We started to see a little bit of an uptick week by week in terms of the number of visitors coming to the county. And so our hotels and restaurants really all had to gear up. If you think about it, out of those 67,000 employees, 66% of those were either laid off or furloughed. So there was a real challenge with our restaurants and hotels to start staffing up. And quite frankly, that is still a major challenge, not just here in Raleigh, but on a national level. We have some of our hotels that would be able to run at 100% capacity even on weekends, but they just don't have the staff to clean rooms. So they're sometimes maxing out the capacity to maybe 80% occupancy versus 100 just because they don't have staff. We have some restaurants now that are not able to open 7 days a week, or they're cutting their hours because of staff limitations. So it is a real challenge right now to find staff, but hopefully it's going to be a short-term challenge, and hopefully by fall we'll be fully staffed. All of our restaurants, hotels will be fully staffed because we have a very busy fall coming up.
That's great to hear. In fact, don't go away, because when we come up next, we're going to be talking about some of these upcoming events. Stick around.